Today's question of the week is as follows. I worked for years in a warehouse and suffered a back injury that keeps me from going back to the same job. What do I need to do? The state of Tennessee is what we call an employee at will state, or an employment at will state. This means that, unfortunately for the worker, your employer can fire you without just cause. Now, that statement is subject to some exceptions, such as that the employer is not allowed to discriminate against you for certain reasons, such as age, gender, or race. But if you're unable to do your same job after you've been injured on the job, the employer does not have to take you back at the same job, and he doesn't have to offer you the same pay. However, if the employer cuts your salary and returns you to a lesser position, you could be entitled to temporary partial disability benefits, or in the case of a settlement for permanent disability, you could be entitled to greater permanent partial disability benefits. If you have not reached maximum medical improvement in the doctor's opinion, maximum medical improvement is the day that you're as good or bad as you're going to get following an injury and the medical treatment, and your employer cuts your pay, but you return to a lesser job, you could be entitled to temporary partial disability. Let me give you an example. Let's say that you were making $20 an hour, working 40 hours per week before the accident, and then after the accident you're returned to a desk job and they cut your pay back to $10 per hour. You would be able to recover a weekly check for temporary partial disability in an amount equal to 2/3 of the difference between your weekly wage before and after the accident. In that example I just gave you, your pay would be cut $400 per week, so you would get 2/3 of $400 from the time that you return to work at that lesser pay until you reach maximum medical improvement. Now, if you have reached maximum medical improvement and the doctor has imposed permanent restrictions or permanent disability, you would be entitled to permanent partial disability benefits, and also you would be entitled to permanent partial disability benefits assuming that you would be viewed as not having had a meaningful return to work in the eyes of the law. You could get up to 6 times the highest medical impairment rating if you have not had a meaningful return to work. Let me give you an example. Let's say giving you a 10% impairment rating to the body as a whole as a result of a back injury. If you have not had a meaningful return to work, in this case your wages have been cut in half, then you could get up to 60% disability to the body as a whole under a permanent partial disability settlement. That doesn't mean that your case is in fact worth 60% to the body as a whole, but you could get up to 6 times the highest doctor's impairment rating. Whereas if you had had a meaningful return to work, if you returned to the same employer and you were making the same or greater wages, you could get no more than 1.5 times the highest doctor's impairment rating, or using that 10%, you could only get 15% disability to the body as a whole. So whether you've returned to work at the same or greater wages is a big point in determining the value of a final settlement or a settlement for permanent partial disability benefits. You should be aware that there are many doctors in this world, and different doctors give different impairment ratings for the same injury. You shouldn't be settled that the doctor that the company has recommended to you, that doctor's impairment rating is necessarily the accurate impairment rating in the case. In the end, it's my recommendation that you should contact an attorney who is well versed in workers' compensation laws and to review your situation with you. At my office, I offer a free consultation for anyone who has been injured on the job and wants to know about their benefits. I'd be happy to talk with you without any pressure to review the facts of your case and make a determination of what you actually need to do. You should be careful to make sure that you're getting the right benefits. If I can be of assistance to you in any way, feel free to call me. Again, I'll go over your case with you. And I want to thank you for listening in this week. We'll talk to you next week.
Get your life back. Call the law offices of T. Verner Smith for a free consultation. 423-1888. 423-1888.